Hello, everyone. In this episode, we're going to talk about the very first Godzilla in 1954. Storyline: American nuclear weapon testing results in the creation of a seemingly unstoppable dinosaur-like beast. 1 hour and 36 minutes, re-released on May 7th, 2004. It's a horror sci-fi. Directed by Ishirō Honda. Now, I'm kind of doing these movie reviews backwards and forwards and so forth. I keep hearing a story about how Godzilla was killed, in 1954. So now I got the whole gist of the story. Basically, Godzilla was created, supposedly by American nuclear weapon testing, and they always talked about the myth about Godzilla, but never seen him. Well, Godzilla shows up. And you remember now, this is 1954, so Godzilla looks really, for what it was. So he's attacking Japan. The typical destroy. He literally destroyed. It's black and white. I actually had to do subtitles, and I hate subtitles. But I tried to follow along as much as I could. And I can remember I think it was Godzilla versus Destroyer, where I just reviewed that one a couple days ago. They're talking about Destroyer was created by what was used to kill Godzilla. So I didn't quite understand. I understood, but now I know what they're talking about. The doctor, Dr. Tezuki Serizawa, created this where it takes the oxygen out of the air underwater to where it completely destroys anything down to the bones. So the idea was, in order to kill Godzilla, they had to do this. Now, if you remember in that movie, the lady was talking about this doctor, how he destroyed all his paperwork and he took his own life by trying to kill Godzilla so they wouldn't force him to make a weapon of mass destruction. What he found. In order to protect the world, he, sacrificed himself. So that's what I now understand from watching this first one to what she was talking about. It intertwined. So basically, this movie didn't have much action for Godzilla. Of course, it was in 54, so they had to be very careful. And yes, folks, if you think that I don't realize that a lot of these scenes are like matchboxes or whatever, I get it. I don't care. So you got Godzilla terrorizing Japan, and it's cool. Like back in 54, these Japanese monster movies. There's a lot of them, which I'll be reviewing a lot of them because, it's neat. Now, I know anybody who watches Godzilla, this movie especially, now, they'll get the same feeling that I got. Yes, it's 1954. There wasn't much for technology back then, but it worked. I'm pretty sure this movie was more scarier back when it was made in 54 compared to now, because Godzilla has changed quite so many times. But that being said, it's basically how it was is, in the beginning of the movie, a couple ships were being destroyed. And this one old guy kept saying, it's Godzilla, it's Godzilla. Of course, nobody listened to him, because Godzilla's been a myth or a folk, whatever. No one ever seen Godzilla. Well, it turns out that it was Godzilla, and he's pissed off. So it's a pretty cool movie. It really is. You have to take it for what it was. 1954. Not spectacular effects back then, but I watched it so I can get an idea of how Godzilla died, it blends into the other movies. So if you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. Godzilla 1954. Yes, it's subtitled. I looked for English dub, but I couldn't find one. So I settled for the subtitle, and I hate reading. But once again, it's a cool film. I just watched Godzilla 1985. So I'll be reviewing that one as well. And there's some, intertwines in that movie as well. So definitely check it out, folks. If you haven't seen it, it's on Tubi. It's everywhere. Plex. Just check it out, and you tell me. This is Gruesome Herzog. I give this film a 7 out of 10. Above average. Watchable. Well, if it was English dub, it would be better. But that being said, this is Gruesome Herzog. And I'm out of here.